I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend she's going to have to get over dirt if she wants kids? My 25 female girlfriend Amy, 27 female, is a wonderful person. She's very smart, she works in a clean room with computer chips and stuff. But she's also something of a germaphobe, to the point that she keeps her toothbrush in the hallway outside the bathroom in a zip-locked bag. Her apartment is always spotless, she showers thrice a day, even her car somehow never has any dirt on the floor. She hand washes all of her clothes as soon as she's done wearing them. It's both impressive and intimidating. I'm not the messiest person on the planet by any means. I don't have massive pile of unwashed dishes or a leaning tower of used pizza boxes or anything, but I'm not as clean as she is. Is this ever came up as an issue before? Like, did she make any comments to you about your habits? I'm not against making some adjustments, but we've been talking more about the future now that we are getting serious, and I've come across a problem. Amy wants kids, desperately wants kids. I like kids too, but she's never been around babies or little kids before in her life, and seems to think she'll be able to keep the house just as clean as it is now and keep the baby spotless too. Are any of you guys have any small children in your family? Because as a child, you guys could offer to the parents to babysit, so she could have a more realistic view on how it is when there is a kid in a household. I'm the oldest of 4 and the oldest cousin of 9. Great, that means it's a pretty good chance that you have some kids in your side of the family. I grew up around kids. I've been babysitting since I was 10. There's no such thing as a clean toddler, not for longer than 10 minutes at the very most. She thinks if we just work at it, we have a spotless house and a spotless kid. I don't think she can understand until she experiences it herself. So just trying to explain to her, I don't think it's gonna work. That's why I offered, if you guys have any friends or family with small children, just babysit them together. I told her gently that's just not possible and asked her how she plans on handling diapers, vomit, frogs smuggled into the house, jam going everywhere, soup was stripped over for fun, spilled grape juice, nail polish on the walls, and the like. She insisted that the kids who do that are just poorly trained and don't have good boundaries. No, babe, they are just kids. I told her that they are kids without fine motor control or impulse regulation, and accidents will always happen. And if she wants to have kids, she's going to have to accept that they're going to get messy and our house will get messy. I don't think she's gonna understand this until she's gonna see it to herself. But you're completely right. These are just the way kids behave. Amy accused me of not being supportive and trying to find excuses not to have kids with her and trying to guilt her into being sloppier. No, babe, she's telling the truth to you. It's gonna take years until your kid even understands what you want or even you understand what they want. So no, it's not about being sloppier. OP is just pointing out what the reality is going to be. This is dissolving into an actual fight instead of discussion, and I'm starting to second guess myself. Maybe my family was just extensively messy because we were rural and poor. Maybe my standards are too low and we really haven't tried hard enough. No, babe, absolutely not. Kids on the beginning doesn't understand stuff, and later on all they want is just to have fun. So no, you shouldn't second guess yourself. What you could do is to arrange to your girlfriend to realize what is reality with a kid. It's very frustrating and I want some outside perspective, parental perspective especially. Well, I'm not a parent, but 100% agree with what you say. Kids are just not robots that you can program the way you like them to be. But maybe we can find some parents' perspective in the comment section. Just when you think you cleaned up all the poop and mess, you find casual pile of vomit behind the pillow. Not the a-hole, she has no clue at all. She thinks she'll just command little kids to be nice and clean. Has she met a toddler? Because they can't and they will do the heck they want. And will do it in the most hacky way just to spite you. That, but also in the beginning, they just won't understand what you want from them. You are a cousin of 9. One of them must have a baby. Ask to babysit for a weekend, then she will see. Exactly, until she won't see it to herself, she won't understand it. Thinking something in theory is way more different than the reality. You are my darling, not the a-hole. Let's move on. Am I overreacting? Girlfriend gets drunk and sleeps in her ex's arm. Not overreacting, out of the bed, Why do you have a relationship with your ex after you've broken up? The audacity of sleeping at his place when you are with someone else already? I'm getting heated over this, and I only read the title. Girlfriend got invited to a party by her friend. She's a few towns over and I wasn't invited. Just told her to have fun and if she remembers to please text me when she gets home. Text never came. Instead, the next day we talked and I learned that she got blackout drunk. People talking about how she was dancing on tables that she doesn't recall at all. Nice, so she just proved that she cannot be trusted. She then states how she woke up on a couch in the arm of her ex. The same ex who she's told me a few times she still has feeling for. Okay, I heard enough. You guys should just break up. The way she disrespected you, the way she showed that she cannot be trusted alone. I mean, at least she told you where she woke up, but she still crossed the boundary with someone else who she has feelings for. You should absolutely not let her treating you this way. She always kind of puts as, you never forget your first love, and not I leave you for him if he asked, so was never worried. Well, those two things can be true at the same time. She kind of just tells me all this as if nothing, and I have to stop her and go back to her laying on the couch. Because she's gaslighting you. She says nothing happened, and I'm saying she couldn't be sure cause she was so drunk. Right, she still slept next to her ex, so that's already bad enough. No, I don't think she had relations, but I feel like kissing and hands could have happened. Okay, my guy, kissing someone else is cheating. Even sleeping next to someone else is cheating in my book. So stop being so chill and break up. Even then, if nothing happened, that just the two of in each other's arms sleeping together is cheating. Yes, thank you for recognizing that. Currently fighting about this with her, she says it's not cheating cause nothing happened. She is such good at gaslighting. I already know I'm breaking up with her, but wanted thoughts on if you guys see this is as cheating or not. Yes, it is cheating. Big time. Update, we broke up. Thank God. I was worried there for a second, but that's the only thing you could have done. Even after sharing my feelings, she wouldn't admit to any wrongdoing. I just can't trust her anymore, and that's huge for me, plus can only see this happening again since she lives in the town with her ex. She blamed me for being insecure and says she'll wait for me to admit I'm wrong. Okay, then she's gonna wait for a really long time. I cannot see anyone would ever think that you're wrong in all of these circumstances, especially after she admitted to you that she still has feelings for him. I blocked and deleted her number, and for the first time glad don't live in the same town. Yeah, awesome. This is a happy ending. Now you can find someone who has the same values. To answer some questions, the party was supposed to be old classmates getting together, but how she talked, she only knew her friend and her ex there. Since the couch was in the living room, I really feel like they didn't had relations in the middle of the party, but I've never been to one where everyone was wasted. She doesn't remember that she was dancing on the top of the table. What else she doesn't remember? Thank you to everyone who commented and gave advice and insight. Kind of sucks cause now just worried about future relationships, but I plan to be single for a bit and work on my own well-being. Everything turned out the way it should have been. And good for you for wanting to work on yourself instead of just jumping into another relationship. After this, I don't think it will be hard to find someone who would treat you better. But let's see the comments. Yes, that's cheating. Sleeping in an ex's arms while blackout drunk crosses a huge boundary. Trust is gone, not overreacting. Maybe she isn't ready for a mature relationship. Either way, I wouldn't be interested in continuing this kind of behavior. Not overreacting. Get out of there, like now. Thankfully, he did. You are my darling, not overreacting. But we're gonna move on. My sister is stealing her friend's life. She's editing herself into photos with her friend's husband and even claims their baby as her own. Okay, that's scary. Go on. I don't really know where else to go with this, but I'm honestly shaken and need advice. So my sister, 24 female, gave me her phone to check something. While looking at it, I noticed a strange photo of her with a man I know she's not dating, her friend's husband, and their child. At first, I was confused because she and her friend look a little alike, but it was clear that it was her, not her friend. That's when I started snooping. I know I shouldn't have, it's on me, but the picture freaked me out. Who could blame you? That picture would freak out anyone. That's when I discovered a whole folder. She's been photoshopping herself into her friends' family photos, vacations, birthdays, family events, basically replacing her friend's face with hers. That is nightmare fuel. It looks like she's built an entire alternative life where she's the wife and mother instead of her friend. And it gets worse. I find photos of her with a pregnant belly that look really real. In her messages, she's pretending she's actually had a baby. She's even in a mom group where she talks about breastfeeding and other material stuff. Yeah, your sister needs a professional's help. It is devastating to find this out about her. I cannot imagine what she's going through. Maybe she was in love with her friend's husband for a long time. That happens sometimes. But to not be able to move on from there, that can create even scarier things in the future. So your sister definitely needs a therapist where she can talk about these feelings and what is she's thinking. To prove it, she's been passing pictures of her niece and passing them off as her newborn. Some time ago, she asked me if I had newborn photos of our niece who is 4 now. I didn't think much of it then, but now it all makes sense. I don't know who are these people that she's lying to. I don't know if her friends knows any of this. If she does, I doubt they are still close. But if she doesn't, it's going to be really messy when she finds out. The scariest part is that my sister seems totally normal in real life. Nothing about her day-to-day behavior hints at this. I don't know if she's just lonely and spiraling, or if this is something more serious that needs professional help. I'm completely stuck on what to do. Should I confront her? And if so, how do I even start that conversation? Should I tell her friend who deserves to know, even though that could blow everything up? Or should I just keep quiet? Anyone ever dealt with something like this? What would you do in my position? That sounds really unsettling to discover. I suggest confronting your sister from a place of concern and not judgment. And I think you should help her to seek professional help. Because this level of fantasy building points to some deeper issues she might be struggling with. And yes, her friends deserve to know about this. But giving the chance to your sister to explain it and seeking professional help would be the first step in my opinion. OP has an edit on this story, so we're gonna read that first and then we're gonna check the comments. Edit. Hi, thank you all for the advice. I only talk about it with my best friend and she told me to stay out of it. But I was genuinely concerned and felt like I needed to do something about the situation. Most of you told me to try to get some copies of the stuff from her phone. I haven't had the chance yet, but I'm still waiting for the right moment. My father passed away when we were teenagers, and I don't think involving my mother is the best option. I know she won't be supportive, and the way she will handle it will only make things worse. At the same time, I can't handle this on my own, so I figured the best step is to talk to a professional and see how things go from there. I also tried to bring up the topic in a general way just to see her reaction. I asked her what are the legal consequences for someone who steals other people's photos and uses them. She went to law school. She asked what I meant and I told her I just heard this story about a girl whose friend was using her photos to create a fake account online. Her response was that she didn't see why someone would want to sue in that situation because the pictures weren't used in a way that could get the girl in trouble. I told her it's still serious to steal someone's photos. She agreed with me, but she brushed it off quickly and said the girl could sue for emotional distress or whatever. A few warned me this could escalate into something dangerous, but I honestly don't believe she would ever hurt anyone. Still, I plan to let the friend know what's going on, so at the very least, she can block her and prevent her from having access to her photos. Thanks again, it was good to hear all your opinions. I was feeling pretty alone in this. I will keep you updated. You are definitely doing the right thing by approaching this carefully. Talking to a professional before involving others sounds like an amazing plan. Letting the friend know so she can protect her photos is the responsible thing to do. You are in a very tough situation, but you are handling it with a lot of thought. Your sister definitely needs therapy. Tell her friend what's going on. The friend needs to protect her family, especially her child, from your sister. Don't wait until your sister crosses a line that can be uncrossed. OP, have you been to her home? That could tell you how deep this fantasy goes. It sounds like the beginning of some kind of horror. Yeah, this definitely sounds very scary. I hope your sister gets all the help she needs. And OP, please update us when you get to the end of this. The very earnest, wholesome, intimate goth wedding I accidentally crashed. Backstory. Didn't originally set out to marry a sword guy, but I brought him to a starter historical fencing class once. He did a training montage while I was away to school, and I came home to find that he was on an armored combat exhibition team. This is way funnier when you realize this guy was like 125 pounds at the time. What can I say? Sometimes you must study the blade. Anyway, about 2 weeks after our own wedding, did I mention he dropped a couple grand on armor and sword during wedding planning? He gets a call at midnight from the guy who normally runs and announces the shows. It goes something like this. Hey, Ski Shanty's husband. I'm in a bit of a tough spot. The owner of the company was gonna announce a show at our friend's wedding. He can't, so I'm going to fight instead. Can you come and announce? It's gonna be at a park, couple hours, a whole bunch of our type of people will be there. Food, drinks, pretty casual. Bring ski shanties if you want. I love that nickname. Sick. I'm down for a little park pavilion shindig. Let's go. I had come along to a few events to do setup and tear down. So I was just thinking, I'm part of the vendor crew, we'll just hang out and have a bratwurst. Brothers and sisters. It was at a very nice indoor flagstone hall with a catered dinner and live band. And there were about 35 people there, 8 of whom were the sword people. Bride and groom were good friends with 2 couples in the sword crew, which somehow made it worse because I was just like, hi, were you informed that the emergency substitute was bringing a +1? There was a very heartfelt little ceremony under a tree. The officiant was crying the whole time. Bride wore fairy wings and a sick purple and black gown. Groom did sort of look like he got tattooed by some sort of fantasy tailcoat, but his hair was on point and they were extremely in love. Aww, I wish I could be there. This wedding sounds pretty awesome. Also, surprise, this was a 10-year vow renewal. Even more intimate. Sometimes you get strange extra vendors at a wedding, but this is like crashing their family Thanksgiving. It's not like it's your fault, they said you could come. Now, it's time for the combat show. Have you ever tried to hype up a room of 18 people, 12 of whom are eating? It was hell. The shows are really meant to be in a circle of dirt with 60-70 rowdy Renaissance fair wenches looking on. This was not that. The bride, the real hero, queued up a Spotify playlist of epic combat music, and that helped a lot. I ended up in a corner after the show with the partner of one of the Irish musicians. The couple was so nice, and I still haven't made it out to their maid company. Yes, of course, they own a successful maid company. To buy a few bottles by way of an apology. So yeah, maybe don't do what I did and accept the tertiary wedding invitations. This wedding sounds like it was a lot of fun, and I don't feel like anyone minded you to be there. Also, you gain new friends and have an awesome story to tell. This sounds like a wholesome wedding that wasn't hindered by having one extra person, except your own awkwardness perhaps. Your wedding vendor experience just a little unorthodox. LOL dude, this is wildly hilarious and awkward at the same time. Gotta love how you rolled with it, mad respect. Gonna remember this, no tertiary wedding invites for me. On side note, fairy wings and purple black gown, that's some level 100 gold goals right there. I love this story, but we're gonna move on. We have one more. Am I overreacting for leaving my girlfriend's family dinner after what her dad said? My girlfriend, 27 female, invited me, 28 male, to a family dinner to finally meet her parents. We've been together for almost a year, so I wanted to make a good impression. Dinner started out fine until her dad started asking me about my job. I work in IT, and while it pays well, it's not some high status career. After a few questions, he smirked and said, "So basically you just sit behind the computer all day." Not exactly the kind of guy I imagined for my daughter. I would say a big chunk of people sitting behind the computer and that's how they're making a living. What is the problem with his job, Dad? What he's supposed to do to be good enough for you? It looks like he's good enough for your daughter. I don't blame you standing up and leaving after this because it is super rude. Everyone kind of laughed awkwardly. I tried to brush it off with a joke, but then he added, maybe someday you get a real job so you can actually support a family. Not the awkward laugh. I felt my stomach drop. My girlfriend just said Dad, but didn't defend me beyond that. And that's where the real issue begins. I quickly excused myself, said I wasn't feeling well, and left. Later that night, my girlfriend texted me saying I embarrassed her by walking out and that I should just let it go because her dad was only teasing. Your girlfriend should have stand up for you instead of the awkward laugh. I honestly feel disrespected and don't think I overreacted. But now she's acting cold and says I owe her family an apology. Am I overreacting for leaving? I don't think you're overreacting at all. If they're treating you like this on the first meeting, that tells a lot about how the future is gonna go. If you don't set boundaries right now, you're gonna be her father's doormat forever. The real question is, do you even wanna marry into this family? The fact that even your girlfriend didn't stand up for you, it doesn't look good. Not overreacting, she just proved that her family is toxic and she's too cowardly to do anything about it. I'd bail on this relationship. The fact that she scolded you for leaving due to his horrible behavior is something else. She didn't stand up for you at all. That's really the nail in the coffin. I was in a similar relationship at 20. I did what most are suggesting here and bailed. Looking back, it was a wise decision. I married the right girl with a great family and been married now for 34 years. You are, my darling, definitely not overreacting. Thank you for being here today with me. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and see you in the next one.